Welcome to several examples on how to simplify an expression using the zero exponent rule. For all the examples, we will assume all of the variables are non-zero. Before we begin, let's review the quotient rule of exponents as well as the zero exponent rule. The quotient rule of exponents states x raised to the power of a divided by x raised to the power of b equals x raised to the power of a minus b, which means when dividing and the bases are the same, we subtract the exponents. And the zero exponent rule is a raised to the power of 0 equals 1, again as long as a doesn't equal 0. Looking at the first example, we should recognize this quotient is equal to 1 because any non-zero value divided by itself is equal to 1. But let's simplify this using the quotient rule of exponents as well as the zero exponent rule to show the quotient is 1. Because we are dividing and the bases are the same, we subtract the exponents. M to the fourth divided by m to the fourth is equal to m raised to the power of 4 minus 4. Well, 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. This simplifies to m to the 0. M to the 0 is equal to 1. So this can be used for one example or one justification as why any non-zero value raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. We know this quotient is equal to 1, and when applying the quotient rule of exponents, we get the base raised to the power of 0, which must also be equal to 1. Looking at number 2, notice how we have y to the third divided by y to the third, which again we should recognize will simplify to 1. But once again, let's simplify this using the quotient rule of exponents and the zero exponent rule. Let's write this fraction as a product. Let's write this as negative 2 times y to the third divided by y to the third. And now let's find this quotient. Because the bases are the same and we're dividing, we subtract the exponents. This is equal to negative 2 times y raised to the power of 3 minus 3. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. This simplifies to negative 2 times y to the 0. Y to the 0 is equal to 1. This simplifies to negative 2 times 1, which equals negative 2. Let's look at two more examples. Number 3 looks a lot more complicated, but notice for all the exponential expressions, the base is b squared c to the third. So let's begin by determining the product in the denominator. Remember, when multiplying and the bases are the same, we add the exponents, which is the product rule of exponents shown here. X raised to the power of a times x raised to the power of b equals x raised to the power of a plus b. So we'll leave the numerator in its current form for right now. And now multiplying in the denominator, the common base is b squared c to the third. So b squared c to the third raised to the second power times b squared c to the third raised to the third power is equal to b squared c to the third raised to the power of 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. This simplifies to b squared c to the third raised to the fifth divided by b squared c to the third raised to the fifth. Again, in this form we should recognize this quotient will simplify to 1, but applying the quotient rule of exponents, because we are dividing and the bases are the same, we subtract the exponents. This is equal to b squared c to the third raised to the power of 5 minus 5, which equals b squared c to the third raised to the 0 power, which equals 1. Looking at number 4, notice part of this quotient will simplify to 1. To emphasize this, let's write this as 6 times xy squared raised to the fourth divided by xy squared raised to the fourth. Once again, in this form, we should recognize this quotient will simplify to 1 because any non-zero value divided by itself equals 1. But let's go ahead and apply the quotient rule of exponents and the zero exponent rule one more time. This is equal to 6 times, here we're dividing and the bases are the same, so we subtract the exponents. This quotient is equal to xy squared raised to the power of 4 minus 4. 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. This simplifies to 6 times xy squared raised to the power of 0. Any non-zero value raised to 0 power is equal to 1. This simplifies to 6 times 1, which equals 6. I hope you found this helpful.
Thank you.